Welcome back to the Hockey Show, and we are here to talk all about the Cat being sent down to the Detroit Red Wings, and the Ottawa Senators getting some nice change in return for their deals. So let's jump right into it. Let's talk about the Ottawa Senators first. Now, the Ottawa Senators, I really like what they got in return. Okay, not really like, but I do like what they got in return, because Alex Debrincat was their disgruntled player who was their RFA that obviously didn't want to be there. They I don't want to say took a risk. I mean, Debrincat's not a risky player to grab, but they went out there and they said, hey, we got a lot of young guys. Let's go out there. Let's get a younger guy himself. Last year at the draft, let's go trade for him. And they do. They land him from Chicago. They bring him in. And for me, immediately, and you can kind of tell that he just doesn't really fit the system in Ottawa. You know, he does not seem like an Ottawa Senator. To me, Ottawa's style of play is kind of like I don't want to say basic hockey, but it is kind of a, not grindy, but it's like that, like, what you think of hockey way of playing, you know? It's not like Debrincat was used to playing with Patrick Kane, you know, like the team where they got he's playing with the guys with hands, he's got like making these plays, making with the speed, and they're outrunning the other team. To me, Ottawa is the type of team where they're just like I don't want to say they're basic hockey, but you know they're just simple, like play hard hockey, like go out there, like when you think of like a coach saying something, it's like go play hard hockey, pucks in deep, you know, like stuff like that. And to me, Debrincat his game is super speed and super talented skills that can put the puck in the back of the net. And Ottawa, I think, could use a guy like that, but I just don't think Debrincat was the guy. So he obviously wanted out. He wants out, and they send him away. And in return, they get Dominik Kubalik, a solid left-handed left winger for this team on that second line. Perfect for them. They really have a weak spot for left wingers here in Ottawa, and I think Kubalik being that 45-point guy, 20 goals, is just kind of like a perfect fit there. He's a veteran of the league, and putting him next to guys like Josh Norris is gonna like really help those guys out, and I think it's just a solid pickup for the team who still got a lot of young guys who are still growing into that top 6 position. And Kubalik is a good placeholder. He's a good placeholder there for right now. He's going to get them through the year. He's going to be a solid player. He's not going to like disappoint the team. He's the type of player who's not going to change your team. He's not going to be your top 3 in point scoring or anything that. But he's also not going to be your bottom 3 of goal scoring, you know? He's going to be in the mix of guys who's, I don't want to say vital to the team, but he's someone that you need on the team to win with. So I think he's a solid left winger, second line, perfect spot, and great pickup for them. Then this guy named Sabrongo, I'm pretty sure they picked him up just because contractually the guy's been in the ECHL and AHL. I think it's just because teams can only have a certain amount of contracts, so I'm sure they had to move him in return, I guess, something like that. Also, a 2024 conditional first-round pick, and the condition is, it's like a first round. Okay, so it's like Detroit gets to choose between their first-round pick or the Bruins' first-round pick that they own, but the Bruins one is protected that if it's top 10, then it goes back to the Bruins, so then Detroit sends them a first this year or next year. And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. The Ottawa Senators are going to be getting a first-round pick out of this somehow. So good ad there, and then just a simple 4th-round pick for next year's draft as well. So a solid grab for a guy who didn't want to be on the team anymore. And let's talk about that guy right now. Alex Debrincat over to the Detroit Red Wings, and I think this is the move that I was kind of waiting for Stevie to make. So 27 goals last year, 66 points, not his best season, but far from his worst. And he brings an amazing tool set to the Red Wings. Absolutely amazing. The speed, the hands, the goal scoring. He is that perfect piece that a lot of teams that I think of, like Carolina, where I'm like, they really need a goal scorer, a pure goal scorer. You can get the puck on his stick and he can go skate through the ice. He's smaller, so he can get through some guys and shoot it like short side under the glove or something like that. That is what a team like Carolina really needed. I saw them as a team that could really use a guy like Debrincat, but the Red Wings are the ones that grab him, and I think this is an absolute amazing ad to fit into their top line. Because with Dylan Larkin, these two are going to be outrunning every single team they play against except against Connor McDavid. But other than that, every single line that they're out there against, they probably will be the combined fastest line in the NHL. I absolutely believe that. Larkin and Debrincat, the fastest duo. I bet if you took an average of them this year, they will be the fastest duo in the entire league. Absolutely. And it's perfect. The left-hander, right-handed, it's perfect. Absolutely perfect to fit up there with Dylan Larkin. And he signs a new deal. 4 years for $7.875. Not too bad. I think that's a pretty solid, especially in the next couple years when the cap's going up by almost $10 million. I think that's going to look like an absolute steal. He's going to go from being a top earner to maybe a fifth or sixth highest earner on the team. So great value there. And I like the term as well, because Debrincat, he's only 25 years old, so I don't like calling guys who are 25 veterans of the league, because it's to me, a veteran needs to be 29, 30 or something like that, but I guess that's just my dumb way of thinking. But he is still a growing player trying to get to that consistency, 25 years old. He's gone from getting 40 goals 2 years ago, and then this year he's only getting to 27. Some years he gets to 30, so he's still finding that consistency, and I think that's just because in Chicago, the team was slowly getting worse and worse and deteriorating, and then last year he goes to Ottawa where 27 goals, not bad. He's definitely not any close to being bad. I'm not trying to rag on the guy. He's absolutely fantastic. And in Detroit, where he's going to play on that top line, on a team that, I got to say, is got a lot of young guys who are coming up and growing, and for him to be there for those 4 years, for some of these guys to probably make the team maybe this year, and then next year they start, really becoming the true NHL players they are, and then the next year they're really solidified. Guys like Marco Kasper and Soderblom, those type of guys who will finally be their true NHL guys. Debrincat will still be there, just running and gunning that team, and great term there, great value. And Steve, I gotta say, I'm still confused on you. I'm not one to be oh, the Yzerplan, but I'm also not going to downgrade it. He's confusing me because I'm still confused. One of my most viewed videos is about his Hronik trade, and I'm still confused about it because I don't know how that trade helped this team out. Because I got to say, I know I say that a lot, whatever, but this team's offense is amazing. I'm looking down at my board here. You've got Debrincat, Larkin, and probably Perron being that right-handed guy up there. You could fit him, Debrincat, on the left or right, and I think that's an solid top line. Could be better, but solid enough. Second line, you can guys have Comfer on that second line, or Kopp. You've got Lucas Raymond. You got so many guys. This team is very deep now. It goes all the way down to the fourth line. The fourth line of guys maybe Kostin, Veleno. You got Daniel Sprong now added onto this team who can play in the top six. He played great in Seattle this year. Soderblom, maybe he can crack the team. Berggren, you could also see him making the team. I really like this offense unit is amazing. Absolutely amazing. Stevie, the center lineup, Larkin, Comfer, and Kopp, absolutely fantastic there. I love that. And left wing side might be a little weak with Fabry, Rasmussen, Kostin, Berggren fitting in maybe somewhere in there. Soderblom eventually, but I don't think he's a left winger. So to me, I'm just this team definitely needs some more work, but maybe I like what Stevie's doing, because this team is by no means now a Stanley Cup champion. I don't even see them maybe cracking the playoffs this year, but I like what they're setting up. This team might come close to the playoffs. Maybe they end up like the Penguins this year, where they're the last team not to make it in. And then next season, next season, however you want to describe it, guys like Berggren, Soderblom, Evanson, Kasper has made the team. They're truly in their development. Guys like Sprong have really taken over that top six role. Raymond's truly become an 80-point guy maybe at that point. Rasmussen, and then they got so many tall guys that are coming onto the team. They're going to be wrecking balls in the league. So to me, Steve, I really like your offense. But defensively, I know you've drafted some guy this year in the draft, and Evanson's coming up, and a couple other guys as well. But right now, I don't like the defense. But Steve is building for the future. I like what he's doing here. Debrincat being a solid ad for 4 years now as those young guys develop, and by that end, that fourth year is here. He'll be 29 years old, still plenty in his prime, and the young guys will truly be in their development. Guys like Perron will be gone from the team, but Raymond will have taken over his spot. You still have and guys like Casper and all these other guys that they've drafted and are still drafting. This upcoming draft, they'll probably get at least a top 15 pick, I would think. And I just really like what Steve's done. I'm not gonna praise him either. I'm not gonna say he's an absolutely fantastic genius or something like that. But I really like what he's done with the offense. It's still got room to grow. It's got definitely patches that they can fit in the young guys and move out the old guys. And they're built for the future. Cat, Larkin, Comfer, Raymond, Rasmussen, Kopp, Fisher, Valeno, Sprong, Berggren. So, like, a lot of these guys are going to be here a long time. Like, the only names I don't think will be here very long is, like, Perron, Fabry, that's it. Like, that's really, like, I'm just looking at their offense. I'm like, those are the only two guys I can really see leaving the team, like, that are beneficial to the team, really, in the next couple years. So, Steve, I like the offense. Goaltending, I like Ville Husso. I don't think he's a horrible goalie by any means. I think he's a solid goaltender to keep your team competitive. And defensively is where you definitely still need work, but I think that is what he's building for. I think that is what he's going to take, like, this couple years that he's got, or this year and then next year, to build up a better defense. Let the salary cap rise a little bit more. You can sign a couple more defensemen on here. And, I mean, he's already got Gosh to spare, but he still needs a couple more guys. The guys like Sherratt, I wouldn't bank on being the greatest beneficiaries to your team. But really, overall, Debrincat, I like the ad. Steve, he's smart, but I'm still questioning him because I still have to wait and see what he's doing. Because this team is good, but it's not great. It's not going to win the Stanley Cup. It's not going to get past the first round. It might not even make the Stanley Cup playoffs. But I like the building grounds. I like that he's got the structures up and he's getting it to go forward. I can see the path. And I like it, but I have to see him to execute. But that's all I gotta say. So thank you for watching this. And actually, if you are a follower of this channel for a little bit, you know that I haven't been able to find this shirt, and I don't have a shirt for most of the teams I actually talk about. So I usually probably wouldn't wear a shirt anyways. But I found this shirt finally in my closet, and that's why it's all wrinkly. So don't mind that this shirt looks horrible, but don't worry about that. So thank you for watching. If you've made it this far, please, I'm begging you, pick up your free subscription. And until next time, too sweet, have an amazing day, and ta-ta for now.